Hey you, never set the bare minimum for your life. Never lower yourself. Never have limited beliefs. Never over less succeed yourself from what you can accomplish. What I mean by this is that stop having limited beliefs. Stop thinking that you can achieve this, but when you actually can achieve this much. Stop thinking that you can only do this much when you can actually do this much, right? There's a difference between a person who actually accomplishes his small goal, but then he stays in the small goal, between the person who thinks, who knows, who's already assuming that he can already do this around much of results, but he can control it into this much, right? And that's what I'm here to talk about. Stop setting yourself in such bare minimum. Stop putting yourself in some limited beliefs. Stop putting yourself in corners. Stop putting yourself in a box. When at the end of the day, the human potential can outright anything. It can overpower animals. It can overpower the universe. It can literally overpower your own life, right? So I'm here to talk about why you need to stop putting yourself in such a low level. Bro, hey, girl, sis, brother, friend, whoever is watching this video, your soul, your energy, the reason why you're even watching this video is because you know deep inside that you can do anything. But at the end of the day, something you're holding on into is breaking you from that potential. Maybe it's the people you're hanging around with. Maybe it's the habits that you have. Maybe it's yourself. Maybe it's just the life that you have, right? So I'm here to tell you that none of those terms matter at all regarding on why you shouldn't fulfill your dream life, your desired life. Because at the end of the day, if you look at every successful person's life, how they started, they probably went through much more worse stuff than what you've been through. And look at them, having the desired life, right? So how can I change this? How can I do this? How can I do that? You need to start visualizing. You need to start talking about the desired life that you want, the dream thing. It could be the career, it could be the car, it could be the goal. It could be you being an actor. What is it that you want to have? And why are you limiting yourself in such short terms? Why are you not putting yourself in a bigger picture? Why are you not putting yourself as a legendary, as a king, as the queen, as the person that you should be? Why? Because you don't believe in your goals. That is exactly why. You don't believe in your goals. And straight up, that's what it basically means. It's like me telling you, let's say for example, we're playing a soccer game, right? You're playing with your friend who's excellent, who's who you know is better than you. He's really talented, but at the end of the day, you end up playing much more better than him because he has all this talent, but he has no confidence. He doesn't believe in himself, and you end up scoring more goals because now you believe in yourself. Now you have such love, such emotion behind that goal, behind that situation when it comes into playing the game, when it comes to putting the work into the game, when it comes into you putting yourself in that concept of you playing that soccer game. But with him, it's the complete opposite. It's the lower one, it's the lower side of himself, But let's say for example, your friend, who's talented, who's beautiful at playing the game, now starting to have confidence, now he's starting to believe in himself. Now he's automatically gonna be the best player. With the talent, with the skill. Now that doesn't matter at all until you start believing on your own self. Until you start assuming that you're the best player in the world. And that's what I'm here to talk about. You have to automatically start assuming, start believing that in fact, this is the life that is already in me. This is the life that I'm living right now. It's just, you're just waiting for conscious or universal time to put it all together so it can make sense, so it can create a story, so you can become that character right away, right? And your ideal dream life, it could be whatever, right? Like I was mentioning, you could be an actor, you could be a content creator. You have to have a structure on how you can evaluate on this. You have to grow becoming that person. But at the same time, like I mentioned before, you don't want to end up like that soccer player who doesn't believe in himself, who's talented, who have the skills, and at the end of the day he ends up failing even though he's pretty good, right? He's pretty good. So when it comes into having such bad beliefs on yourself, such limited beliefs, I will call them a curse, because it's understandable, growing up, going through school, growing up in such an environment where typically like your family members are not really rich, are not gaining any financial wealth, they're not coming out of their circle, they're not going out of their box, but they're trying to, right? There's a difference where you can gain something from that and evaluate differently. So instead of thinking like every single person, instead of having those such limited beliefs, why don't you do the opposite? Why don't you start thinking differently? Why don't you start having this mindset that I'm gonna accomplish this for my people, for my environment, in order for me and them to have the best life, in order for them to fulfill the dreams that they wanted to do. I'm gonna be the person who's gonna do it, Say it with such conviction, say it with such passion, And once you start having this mindset, automatically everything is gonna come easy. Now you're just gonna have this confidence in yourself. You're gonna have this energy that nobody can break. You're gonna have this mindset of life is so easy. Life is so easy, and that's basically what it is. That's the reason of you growing. That's the reason why you should stop having such low belief in self, right? So you have to think bigger. You have to think like, you're already over expected that, you already outgrow that, right? You have to like basically be bigger than that, you have to mature. It's like whenever you were once a kid and you used to be troublesome, but now you grow, right? You're mature person. Now you're just understandable. Now you're aware. Be aware of the consequences of having limited beliefs. Be aware of that. If you put yourself in this level, you're never gonna be in the level that you actually want to be because of such limited beliefs. It's such a fluctuating state. And at the end of the day, once you complete this, a lot of people tend to be comfortable where they're at because they already think they already made it, but it's not really the case. The case is that once you get here, there's gonna be another stack to fulfill, and it's always gonna be growing like this. That's exactly why every person who's successful always outshines themselves every day or every time. They're always trying to find a way to overtrend themselves. And you find this a lot with singers, with rappers, with streamers, with famous people they see every day. They're always gonna do something different. They're always gonna do something that's out of the scenery for them to get this attention, to create this character that they already published in the public, right? And also when it comes into limited beliefs, when it comes to putting yourself in such bare minimum, you have to think differently. Okay, I want this dream life, but with this dream life, like, what do I want to gain from that? Obviously I want to be rich, I want to have this car, I want to have this, but what are you going to be doing? Like, what's your business? What is the female you're going to marry? What are you going to do? What are you going to provide for your family members? What are you going to provide for the audience, the people that you love? Do you see what I'm getting at? It's not just about the acquirements. It's not about the necessities. It's not about the money. This is about how you can unlock your potential without having any limited beliefs. You have to think differently, specifically in different pathways. You can't just focus on that one thing when there's a lot of million things that come with it along. It's a responsibility. With great power comes with great responsibility, right? And that's what it basically means. right? If you're gonna be let's say for example, you actually want to be, Spider-Man. You're not just gonna be Spider-Man. You're gonna be saving people. You're gonna be, responsible when it comes to anything, disaster. You have to make sure you save the world. You have to make sure all this tasks have to come along with you being that person, right? And it sounds really harsh and it sounds really tiring, but it's not. Because at the end of the day, whatever we're doing right now, it's the same responsibilities. What is gonna come along on the higher level, but it's gonna be much more different things, right? It's gonna be much more different things. So I really recommend you to start doing affirmations. If you don't really believe in what you can fulfill, start telling yourself you can. I will acquire my dream life. I'm so grateful and appreciative about my life right now, but I'm gonna grow more and more. I am grateful that I'm growing every day. No matter what happens, even if it's not right now, my life will just keep growing and growing. Just telling yourself affirmations. I just thought of outside of my head. I didn't even think of anything. I just thought of something in my head, right? And when it comes into reminding yourself all these things, you're just gonna start believing on it automatically, and your mind is just gonna work repeatedly with that same sense of words. You're gonna start believing in it no matter what, right? You're gonna start believing it. So, start praising that life, start attaining everything, and you're just gonna see everything coming normally, And one thing I always say that when it comes into already having all these necessities, when it comes to you already attracting the life that you want, don't overreact. Don't think that you're lucky to have that. Don't think that don't get too overexcited. Don't go too overjoyed. Obviously, you're gonna be happy, but think as you already have acquired that life 10 years ago, 2 years ago. Don't get too overexcited. Have the mindset of that. Wow, like this was already coming to me. Like I already expected this. Like, don't over evaluate yourself now. Don't get too comfortable, because at the end of the day, if you get too comfortable, you're gonna find different senses of how you're gonna be an effect of the situation. And a lot of people, don't know how to control their emotions. Maybe some people do, but some people don't. And then when it comes to not over controlling the emotion, you're basically not gonna attract no more things, because you're not in a state of being grateful. Now your mindset is like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, like oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, like what I will be saying. Like, it's a feeling that most humans we have, and it's okay. It's not wrong having that mindset, but it's also best to be aware that everything that you attain is because of you. Yeah, man, it's been Fredo Saga, the real 214 speaker, giving around the emotion, giving out the words, giving out the wisdom to all the people around here. Go follow my TikTok, go subscribe to my other channel, and let's leave the dimension expansion with your new game, and let's input it into the world. Let's get it.